right, good morning. Let's see. So, yesterday wasn't much fun. I spent a good chunk of my time trying to figure out the best approach for databases. And what I came to the conclusion was that I didn't want to use Directus. So I spent 3 days this week working on a connection to Directus. I think most of the problem is that I just don't understand how Directus works. So I need to really sit down and learn it. Unfortunately, there's some things that AI just doesn't do for you, like teaching you, or at least giving you knowledge that you should already have. So where I left off yesterday is that I ended up creating a local SQLite database. So when the site runs, it also runs an SQL database in parallel on the same instance right now. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this down the road, but because I may just need to break it out and make my own sort of SQL template. But long story short is that now I have this this template. Actually, that's probably what I should do. So maybe we'll take a look at that today, depending on how sort of annoying this gets. And what I'm trying to do right now is go through and just make sure that that's weird. There's two new. Okay, now we got it. Reaper boy. I'm trying to make sure that now everything is running through the database. And the idea is that I want you to create a new project. You'll upload a Game Boy game to go along with the project, and then you can make test scripts to automate your testing. And as you go through, you can attach the scripts to a specific version of the Game Boy game that you've uploaded, and you can iterate the scripts through there. So let's create this project and see if this actually wired everything up. Okay, so I got this message, which I feel like I've gotten before. Failed to upload game version. Okay, and I don't know why this problem keeps coming around, but let's do this. Git status, git add all, git commit removed old local storage, and git, what branch are we on? I'm just going to make a new git branch from here, and it's called this v0.1.4, and git checkout v01.14 in order for us to see what is actually going on now. So I'm going to start a new chat, and this is so weird, like why I have two of these and like which one's real, which one's not. It's been having like a lot of problems lately with understanding like when to remove code and when to keep it. Let's see, I'll refresh this. I just want to see if I get some errors. Okay, so that module has an error in it because I commented it out. Let's see if that fixes the error. Oops, I don't need to do that. Okay, now I want to see if this clean project is actually being used anywhere. Alright, so let's do one last test. I wonder if I copy this, we'll comment this out, and then paste this into here, if this breaks everything. Because I was trying to do something with this new test. I'm just going to just... Okay, still the same problem, but here, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to leave whatever this new clean one is. I'm going to delete this. We'll leave this as the updated version, and I'm going to give it this local storage. We don't need this local storage migrator. I don't understand. I keep telling it not to include this stuff. Under the database. Okay, cool. The database stuff still exists. My migrations, man. So the other thing that I wound up building out here was this idea that there's a separate debug page that allows you to take a look at what's going on behind the scenes of the database. Like one of the issues that I had and what I was trying to solve is I really liked in Supabase like how you can do a lot of the, you can preview stuff and look at it through some sort of web admin. SQL on its own doesn't have any of that, which is why I started moving over to Directus. And now I'm in this place where I'm just using like a raw database. So the only way that I can keep things in track is I'm using a JavaScript migration document to make sure that as we make changes, it applies the migration. And so these are just all the things that I need to do to test that things work. Let me actually test this browse right here and upload. Okay, so somehow this has been broken. So let's go back to the hub and let's figure out why uploading is now broken. What we should do, actually, one last thing we should do before we test it. I'm just going to restart the server, and let's see if it isn't something that's corrupted with the node server. Is it restarting? Did it happen like really quickly and I just wasn't paying attention? Restart. Restart it one more time. This doesn't look like it's actually restarting. That's weird. Why does it not? Let's just stop it and start it up again. What I'm looking for is that I was looking for it to actually show some sort of I guess some sort of like commenting that it was actually, or show its logs that it was building out. So we'll just start over again. All right, so that went down because it doesn't work anymore. This is so weird. I wonder what is taking this so long to shut down. I don't know, something's weird with the interface. Maybe I needed to refresh the page. What is? I'm gonna look for some royalty-free music. Royalty-free beats. Let's see what this royalty-free rhythms is. I need some better music. And music that's not going to get my my channel banned. Okay, so this is back up and running now. What I wanted to test was, this is very booty. ROM testing. I want to just test the upload. Okay, good. I'm glad I did that before I started telling it to like rip things apart. This isn't wired up yet, which is fine, but let's go back here. Let's create a test project. You can already tell I hate this music. No ROM file uploaded. Huh. Alright, so this is what we need. ROM game and started. ROM using production API. I wonder why. Why I can't. Alright, failed to load. Failed to load. Are these actually the right files? Okay, there's a disconnect here that I need to fix, and the disconnect is These are like so. These aren't like rhythms. Let me try this. Royalty-free beats. Alright, so what we need to do now is actually I want to get rid of this local storage because this doesn't seem to be affecting anything. Project scripts. Okay, so I'm seeing an issue where I can't upload a GB game. Cool. Did my computer decide that it no longer wants to be connected to the mouse and keyboard? Well, it's almost the end of the week. It feels like a Monday still, when nothing works this early in the morning. I think this is just like the running theme of my channel, is that nothing seems to work. Come on. Okay, now I'm getting annoyed. Where is Synergy and what is it? There we go. It's like as soon as I get like ready to like shut down Synergy and restart it, it's like, hey, I'm back. I'll connect it. All right, I'm seeing an issue where I can't upload a GB game from the project wizard, but it appears to work in the DB tester. Can you look at these issues and come up with a solution where there is one unified upload system and it needs to associate a game with a project? The scripts are associated with the project and reference the GB game version. To run, and the reports are connected to a script and a specific version of the ROM. All right, let's give it this, this, I don't know what else it really needs. Alright, so, hopefully we're able to get this going. I think the other thing I want to actually sort of take a look at now is how can I create my own... This one's a little bit weird. I was just thinking, like, how can I create a database template? Like, let me look at the package. This is npm run server, npm client, serve index.js, index.js, node server. Alright, this creates... I need to, like, I don't understand databases that much, so that's probably a cornerstone problem that I need to, or a systemic problem I need to work through. I need to figure out, so this creates all the APIs. I guess when you're like rolling your own solution, this is like so much boilerplate code. This is so garbage. Sure. Are you not in this project folder? server code expects ROM data column in the database. The database hasn't been migrated to include this column. Apply the database migrations to add the missing ROM column. Update the game version service to probably support. Let me first check if there's a pending migration that needs to be applied. I'm already running. Server. I see the issue now. Looking at the server code, I can see that the server already has. Server is trying to insert the ROM data column, but the error suggests the column doesn't exist in the actual database. Let me examine the errors. Column mismatch, missing the project association. Alright, let's see what it comes up with, because I have a better idea of how I want to actually implement this, and I don't know if it's going to figure that out on its own. This music's alright, but not great. Alright, so let's see what it's trying to figure out here. I can see the issue now, server already, but the error suggests the column doesn't exist in the actual database. Mismatch. Let me fix the issue. Yeah, I should have been more specific. I think it's just creating a whole bunch of garbage right now. Also, this like design is like makes me want to like vomit. It's so bad. I don't know what. I think this was created by Lovable, I think at first, and then it just started becoming garbage after that. Let's see. Just waiting for Copilot to figure out its thing. Let me see if there are lightweight API with Node.js, SQL for Excel, lightweight DB API interface for SQL databases, SQLite 3. This database that doesn't require separate servers. Wrappers. Trying to figure out what other options there are for using this using a database. Let's see if this guy's stuck on anything. Nope. Like what I don't understand is like why they don't make like a very simple like PHP MyAdmin for like this database, and I can't remember whether it implemented. Where's my invite, TypeScript, Tailwind, post buffable, tag error. I need to get rid of all that crap. Auto prefixer. Trying to see where the SQLite 3. Okay, so this is what it's decided to use. Viewer. User wants a visual interface to view and manage SQLite databases within a node environment. They would typically use a dedicated SQLite viewer. Where it's creating a web page GUI at the top of their node application. Is it really? It's a package that allows users to embed a web-based SQLite GUI directly in their Node.js application. Oh, here's what I want to do. Let's add this. After installing, import and initialize the package with a Node.js server and point it to the SQLite database. The GUI will then be accessible via a web browser at a specified port. All right, we're going to implement this next. Continue to iterate. This is going to be the... wait, that's not going to work. Want me to manually restart the dev environment. Actually, I want to stop it from what it's doing because I can't see what the hell is going on under the hood. And let's see. I wanted to see if it actually... Let's get rid of some of this stuff. We don't need this. This. Voice test framework, fine. Fine. Alright. Cannot retrieve project list from database. Okay, let's do this real quick. I want to take a aside. And I want to... I need help implementing a viewer for my SQLite 3 database. This is running inside a Coder workspace Docker image. I need to expose the port this should run on without conflicting with the main site. Can you take a look at the settings I have already and this suggestion on what to use. I'll run the commands myself since I need to remote into the server. So tell me what you need done and you focus on the code and implementation. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give it this give it this. I don't even know whether we need this migrations or not. I guess I assume so. Script server. Then we're going to give it the package. We'll give it the Vite config. Already passing in a port number for the front end, but so I'll need to modify this for my template to pass that in. For now, let's just hard code it. I'm going to regret this, but all right. So my thinking is this. I think at this point what I need to do is I can't see what's going on in the database, so it's telling me like tables are there and they're not there and whatnot. What I want to do is I'm hoping that if I can first you'll need to install this. All right, let me create the database view. Oh, I don't even know if this is like a bad terminal. Wait, refresh it. Oh, I guess I have to refresh the session because it was workspace. Clear. Paste. No matching version found for SQLite. What? I feel like I've run into this problem before where it's like Google's given me an answer to something and this doesn't exist because, you know, they're using LLMs now too, which lie. Is this a real thing? SQL GUI node. Alright. Paste. In most cases, you or one of your dependencies are requesting a package version. Just complete log of this. I don't understand why I can't install this. All right, we'll just ask this. Would you like? I can't install. It gives me this error. Try to rearrange my windows so I can switch a little easier. Should probably do this the other way. So then at least I can monitor out of the corner of my eye what this is doing. Oh cool, it didn't feel like... Why is this not submitting? It's gonna be one of those days, huh? I see the issue. It looks like it's going to either it doesn't exist or the version I specified is incorrect. Let me check what SQL Web. Oh my god. I don't want it to create an SQLite web viewer from scratch. That's why NPM exists, so that other people do it. Yeah, I think this is part of the problem. I think that this is just not... It's not even like live anymore. Or whoever made this, it just doesn't look like it's very complete, which now sounds like a job that I'm going to somehow take on, which is just creating an SQL viewer. Now let me add the endpoints for the inspector. NPM package. Here's what I've implemented. This one. Features. Since you don't need to install any additional packages, you can start it immediately or run the full development environment. Once running, visit 302. You will automatically connect to your existing database. Sure. Let's go here, and it needs port 302. Alright, so we'll expose port 302. Let's do 303. Where's the port 3? We'll just make this 303 for right now. And then what I wanted to make sure is in the package that it didn't do something stupid like break. And currently npm server, npm run client. Run viewer. Sure. npm. I gotta change this stupid. Hold on. Why do you change things on me? Dev full. Alright, so theoretically this is now going to launch its new SQL viewer that it created for me, which is not what I wanted, but I don't understand why nobody's made like a simple SQL viewer. Alright, so let's see. This is still running. If we do 303, that's not going to work because it doesn't route the ports through. Studio. Oh, well, Studio NAS is probably the... Alright, so that's there. 3003. Hey, look at that. Interesting. This isn't that bad. Game versions. Query, schema, tables. Okay, migrations. Fine. Alright, I mean, I guess this is doing what I want it to do. So, is there no way to, like, delete things? You add the ability to delete fields, columns, rows. Alright, at least let me get to this point where I can delete stuff. And then now I'll add the ability to delete rows from the database view. Let me first check the current state of the DB view. And while that happens, I got some stuff I need to take a look into. This is actually, well, I really don't want to get into this business here. What I should do is I should actually see if I can just get Superbase up and running locally and then migrate it. so it stays within the same stack as Lovable. What am I looking for here? I want coder, weekend, code project, templates. I want to look at I think I'm going to do this. Start this template as a base. You know what? Actually, I lied. I'll do this template as a base. Resources. Source code. And we're going to ask ChatGPT to help. I need help with this code. This coder. Terraform template. I want to modify this directus setup to use shoot, what's the name of it? Supabase. I have support for rootless Docker as well. So take a look at this first, then I'll share some examples of what I've done in the past to make it work so we can templatize it. Alright, now I have a little ebook that I've been working on, which is off my other computer screen. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Drive. And what I want to look for is I had an example in here, Supabase. Which for some reason now isn't. Why is, I swear I have I thought I had a whole thing in here for Supabase. I'm just trying to figure out where I put these notes of mine. Setting up GitHub SSH keys, code server extensions, customizing editor tools, swapping Docker images dynamically with code, customizing metadata encoder templates. This book is already like 100 pages long, and I need to go through and start cleaning it up. It's one of my many. Setting up Docker and Docker development environments. Thought that it's so weird. I really swear that I had created some notes here. Testing image caching, restarting the workspace. I'm just trying to find notes on where I put. I thought I had used Supabase as an example. Okay, take. You look at this on how I run rootless Docker, and we can start by swapping out the MariaDB and directus logic for setting up the compose file for Supabase. Do you need the docs on that? Alright, run DB viewer. Start the database viewer. access the viewer, navigate to the tables tab. We keep these changes. This should already be running, which I think was here, 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 here. All right, let's look at all these tabs. Oh no, of course my mouse decided to lock up. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back in a minute or so, and then we'll continue on with this. All right, I'm back. All right, let's see if it did anything. It says it added, okay, it did add the delete. This is annoying. I have to like restart. I have to like restart the server every time it makes changes, but fine. All right, so the real question now is what happens when we upload a file? So let's go to the database debug stuff. Let's do ROM testing. So right now there are two game versions. What I'm going to do is I want to delete them. Delete and delete and refresh this page, and it doesn't do jack. Unknown token. Alright, when I try to delete a row, I get error. Also, can you just move this into the where's the page for this? Page is into the database debugger, so I don't need to run the app on its own port or restart the server every time I want to make changes to the tool. Alright, let's see if I can just migrate this over. I shouldn't have let it go do its own thing. Every time I let it do its own thing, it's always the wrong thing. And while that happens, excuse me, while that happens, I will check in. I'm just trying to check in on one thing real quick to see if this works, which it doesn't. Cool. Let's check in here. Yes, please share your Subase Docker Compose example or docs, and I'll swap it out. Let me see here. I feel like one of these older tests of mine, of course, I think I deleted it. So why would I not keep it around? Workspace, Docker. There were some tests I thought I did. There we go. I don't think I did anything special. Develop locally while running the Subase stack on your machine. That's interesting. I don't remember. I think this is just the CLI. Architecture, local development. Getting started. It used to be a self-hosted Docker I just followed these steps and I'd like to check the project out into the root without, so we don't have a nested folder, and change the default command to Docker compose up D. The only let me see, it does create this how should we achieve? Alright, and let's see here. Keep index add SQL injection protection, great. Schema. When I try to open it, I get this. This has not been my favorite week of streaming. So much crud for just a simple backend to test my games. I really fell down a rabbit hole here. But it's fine. All this work will go towards something else that is going to be much better. Can you now fix the preview renderer? All right. Oh, I might need to restart the server. I can't believe that there's not a Node JS SQL 3 Lite 3 Explorer. I wonder if I can connect DB browser. I'll try to install this and see what it does. Let me see here. I think I need to restart the server. The random password generator for the Supabase. Set up and make sure all the data needed to connect to Supabase is in the auth JSON file. Alright, let's have that do its thing. What stopped here? That's weird. I don't know what... Let me see what happened here. I ran into an issue after restarting the workspace. I want a file and folders. I want... Wait, what? I'll just drag it over. Downloads. Also, let's install this. Oh, so stupid. I need to now go back into... I need to change the startup command settings, parameters, just get rid of this part, and that should fix the error. All right, we're back up and running. Cool. Can we delete things? All right, so much better. Like why it didn't make the database viewer a tab inside of this is beyond me, but whatever. This is just debug stuff. I'm not going to get hung up on this. Okay, so what I want to do now is create a new project. We're going to call this test. We're going to choose a ROM here, and we're going to my first test. We'll create this project. Holy shit, it actually worked. That's some good progress. Now let's open up the scripts and all right, so now here's what I wanted to test. This is why I needed to have the debugger. So it's telling me that it can't find the projects, but I'm looking at the projects here. I see that we have one row and the game has been updated or uploaded. Our migration is fine. So our game project here should reference. So one issue I'm seeing is that the game project doesn't. Well, I guess the script is the one that needs to. Let me see. Is this associated anything? File size created at project. Okay, it is associated with the project ID. Okay. So now, whoops. This is the problem. Okay. Let's save our work real quick. Git status. Git add. Oh no. Clear. SSH. NAS. Add studio. NAS.local. I don't think I put the right password in. Yeah. Okay. Clear. CD. Coder. Workspace. This is Game Boy Test Framework. Clear. Git status. So now what I wanted to do is, okay, so we'll start a new chat. This is one of the things I've been noticing a lot lately is that like it starts getting, I just keep like putting more and more stuff into the chat and then it winds up like just overwhelming itself. So we're just going to start from scratch. And what I want to tell it is I need you to look into why I can't load projects. I have created one and confirmed it exists in the DB along with the associated game, but clicking on the view scripts button just tells me error, project not found. So let's close out all this stuff, and now what we're going to do is we're going to pass it in the UI scripts, context, pages. I don't even know where anything is. Database manager, action queue, form, game version manager, script manager. Doesn't even look like there's a. Oh, here we go. We'll pass it in this and see what it comes up with from there. So while that goes on, I want to come back and see what ChatGPT has suggested for setting up a Supabase platform, Terraform template for my coder dev environment. Supabase. Launch Supabase, append at the end of startup. Init point the preview URL to the Supabase. Clean up metadata amounts. Remove leftover directives volume amounts. Okay. All right. Define new random password. We have prune directives random bits. Right. Remove all that installation. Right. Install. Ensure your D&D snippet, which is already built. Clone the Supabase repo directly into copy, inject. Okay. This looks mostly right. I want the DB user to be the user that was passed into the previous database. I am fine. Also fine with randomly generating out other keys as long as I am able to see them in the project view, like the random generator. And they are in the DB cred JSON file. Alright, your request failed. Cool. What was it working on before we did this? So, the problem is clear now. The project page is still using the old local storage, but no shit. Like, I must have, I think for like 3 days now I've been spamming it and just telling it like, hey, stop. Stop using local storage. But it just loves to ignore me. I'm gonna take a quick break, just so I can like raise my desk. It just gets loud, so I don't think you guys want to hear that. So I'll be right back in 1 second. Okay, so let's see. Add random passwords, generate and write the Supabase DNV invite file, start the Supabase. Secrets. I don't think this is in this. I don't think this goes into the secrets. I guess it did go into the secrets. Oh, right, because I mounted it to the secrets point. Yeah. I have like this whole system in place to like randomly generate out passwords whenever the workspace restarts. So I'm just making sure that all that stuff aligns. Alright, still doing its thing. Okay, let's tickle our ADHD, or ADD I guess, and move this into a new project. Okay, the plan looks good. Can you give me the full code for the template without breaking any existing functionality. Whatever. It doesn't really, luckily it doesn't yell at me when I can't spell anything and pass it in prompts. I do wonder how much the spelling impacts things. I don't think it generally does, but alright, so let's keep this. And now let's come back here, restart this, and failed to resolve. Did it delete something? Alright, this should still be... let me know if you needs any tweaks. Yeah, you didn't put the Docker container. Fine. Host. Go to preview. Creds in the database. Alright. Passed in. I didn't see that. Alright, so what I'm trying to do now is that I also have a way of exposing specific ports on my Docker server, so that I don't have a conflict if I try to create a new workspace, and I can like change the ports. So I just got to make sure that when the template is created, that it actually respects that as well. Need to replace this direct. All right. Checking out this other project I need to finish up today. I've been working on a tool that takes all of my slides and turns them into so it takes all my markdown files and turns them into slide decks in PowerPoint. So I have a bunch of PowerPoints that I owe LinkedIn Learning from my course that I just recorded, and I don't feel like doing them all by hand. Let me see. Random secrets. There's so much stuff in here. Well, only one way to find out if this works. Let's go to templates, create new template. We're going to call this Supabase. Wait. No. I said I wanted a new template. Create a new template. I guess I accidentally clicked workspace. Supabase. Backend, we will give it a database. Oh, I wonder if there's a Supabase. We'll just give it a generic treatment. So this is Coder, which I have running on my local computer, and it basically is my entire dev environment now, and I create these Terraform templates that tell it how to configure everything. So I'm going to paste all that in, just because I get like so bored watching the, I get so bored watching it. Yeah, cool. Missing attributes, expecting new lines or comments beginning of next line. Cool. Yeah, I knew that was going to work. the like odds of my mouse got stuck back on my main computer. The odds of ChatGPT actually doing this without intervention is slim to none. I swear I don't have this problem with Synergy any other time than when I'm streaming. I wonder if there's some sort of conflict or something. Come on, there we go. Alright, so I am copying you, and I am getting this error. Can you provide a fix? And then back in here, we are ready to test out what it has built. And I'm going to, we don't need, wait, we need this. Refresh. We need this. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this. We don't need this. 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 We don't need this, or this. Okay. Let's see if we can now open up our project. Whoa. All right. We're actually making some progress. Okay, new script. Test script. Hey, maybe all this stuff has been test script description. Ooh. Okay. It's asking me to run new script, test script. Okay. We're making some steady progress here. Git status, git add all, git commit m, added logic to open project. All right, push. And now what we want to do is now we need to do, okay, so now I can open a project, create a script, but I get an error when I try to run the script. All right, and while it figures that out, let's see, just add comments between the attributes in your metadata block. Well, why didn't you? I wonder what makes it. No, there are commas there. There already are commas. Unless I'm missing something. Maybe it doesn't like the separated between attributes and add comments between each attribute. All right. I bet you it doesn't like the comments inside of the array. Is this really it? Okay, build. All right. Oh, no. It's not expected here. I don't understand what it's doing. Why are you not following my original template? No, I hate when it. Wait, well, okay, maybe it needs to wait. Project scripts. There was a script runner. I don't know why it creates all this crap. I swear I had a script runner, but all right, let's see if this is what it needs to do to fix it. And here's the change. Swap the labels for repeated labels. All right. It's funny, I'm pretty sure I really didn't want this. I think this thing completely overcomplicated everything. Resource document container works. Local values of the name base labels declared. Alright, whatever. You got into your changes now, so let's come here and let's see. We'll refresh this page. Let's actually go to the beginning. We can open up our script folder. We can now edit our script. We can run our script. Oh, I can murder this thing right now. Okay. Alright. We're getting closer though. Why the application flow is so broken, but you need to implement the scripts in a project as a row in the project view, and clicking on the script goes to the runner / editor. This was all so you had the emulator on the left, on the right was the play and script action / result. Action / result toggle, and everything was wired up. Do you need a diff from the previous version? And now back in this land here, what is this other volume? Docker container for workspace, many keys. What is this thing that it's trying to do? Alright. Well, at least we've made some like good progress for today. You know, all things considered, is that now we're able to create projects. I'm going to call this test 2. Blah 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 blah. We're going to upload a ROM, and we are going to create the project. And now we have test 1 and test 2. And we can navigate between them. So the real question though is this stuff actually in the database? So that's what I wanted to look at, the tables. We have test scripts. All right, so we have a script in there. It's amazing how like completely broken this got. Oh man, it's driving me nuts. It's completely broken, like everything along the way. I wonder if... I don't think I stripped out all the lovable logic from... Lovable doing its thing today too, where it doesn't want to load. This seems to be a daily occurrence now, where like I can't see my projects. I wanted to see GitHub. I wanted to switch this over to, I think, the 1.2 branch. the right branch? Yeah, alright. I want to do... now let me remove the separate route pages we're using in the integration. Now let me also modify the edit scripts to function with the same page. I really don't... I can't believe that this is actually getting this right. So annoying. Oh my god, it's like not even close to what I wanted. Like, who even told it to make settings? Like, I don't understand like why it just decides to like go out and come up with garbage. Alright, you didn't do anything. Here's what I want to do. Let me push this stuff here, clear. I think git diff. I'm trying to remember how I do the git diff command. Am I still logged? Am I still SSH in my other server? Yeah, this isn't. That's annoying. I can't remember, how can I run git diff into a file so we can compare what is working before? Alright, let's just ask it this real quick. So this is another tactic that, this is like another tactic that I've been working on, is that I can, or basically like, when it goes like completely off the rails and tries to, I don't know, like just make up whatever the hell it's doing right now, I usually will do, now I'll do a diff between the current version and the one that was working previously, and then tell it to go through the diff to sort of figure out what the differences are in order to fix it, which is way better. It actually does produce much better results. In fact, whoops, I didn't mean to put it back in there. Am I SSH'd here? So what we're gonna do is, this is gonna be a lot of work. So I want to start a new chat. Wait. What's going on here? I want to keep this stuff. Create a new chat and current changes diff. Right. I need help re-implementing the logic and layout for the script runner in v0.1.2 before I moved over to the database. The first thing I want to do is implement the script editor. So when you click on a script in the dashboard, it opens the version of the editor I had in v0.1.2 that is correctly linked to the database. Use the diff to figure out what was modified, or let me know if you need more code. Alright, let's set this to do its thing, and I'm going to move back over to my little super base project. That block defines the Docker managed volume to persist in the user's home folder between containers. We didn't include it, but we need it so that when the privileged D&D container spins up, it's backed by a main volume. No, just pass the workspace down to the children. Super data should all go into the workspace. So how can you achieve that? Basically now it's complaining to me that Docker doesn't, the Docker in Docker stuff, it needs to have a place to put all of its files, and I don't want it creating its own little random-ish container. I want to do a build real quick and see if this actually builds, because I'm sure there's still more errors in it. Yeah, build failed. What else is new? Everything, the template import provision for start, plan resources, duplicate metadata resource, no. I think this is this seems to be a problem. No, I've never seen this before. Cool. Browse the code registry. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say at least. We just create an override compose file in the root of the project and have it replace the volume. I don't know what this song is. Alright, I'm kind of curious what it has analyzed. I can see from the diff that you've modified the project scripts file as to add a placeholder for the script running. Can help you with this? Let me examine now. Let me look at the components. Blah blah blah. Now let me run the understanding of how the routing and navigation works. Script editor routing isn't actually defined. I don't think this playlist was much better. Royalty-free covers.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely up.
Trying to see what these covers are. I don't know if these are actually royalty free. Yeah, whatever. This video isn't really going anywhere, so if it gets demonetized, I'm not making any money anyways, so.
Sheriff, if you think I have any qualms about killing this kid, you couldn't be.
All right. Startup command. Everything I need to backtrack. But let's do this. Before we get into this, I want to take a look at this. I want to go to the editor. is this page and what is... Oh, God. Alright, what? Why does it not look like my original editor in V0.1.2? I also have noticed like my frustration level is pretty high with it today because yesterday was such a mess, and I've noticed that as I get more and more frustrated with these things, the worse they perform because I get frustrated and just start yelling at it. Trying to see what Alright, let me see if it can actually get this right. Alright, so I'm running into some weird problems now with this template. I've noticed this that when I let ChatGPT like try to drive the entire ship, it just breaks. And in fact, it's got multiple versions of this. So let's try building this again. I want to see what this error is because I've never seen this error before. Do you have any idea what this error is? So the real thing of what I keep learning but getting frustrated and not following is that they really do need very small, it really does need like very small steps. And what I really should have done is I should have created the baseline by just copying over the other template, making sure it compiled, and then replacing chunks of it to work. Okay. I don't see that at all. I'm not seeing that at all. Do you see what the issue is? Alright, let's see where we are here.
It's been a long night and the mirror's telling me.
Yeah, this still looks... I don't know if I really like this. This is not like royalty free, whatever. I'm like so lost. I don't even understand what it's editing now. Or why Oh, there we go. It's kind of amazing how, like, just crappy this got. Like, I spent so much time. Failed to save the action. Okay. Alright. I was. Also. Do you need me to provide the original code? Alright, my other idea here is that if this is going to continue to be sort of like a pain, let me see if it actually can restore this correctly. The original code is there. Would you like me to make the original interface and default root path? Keep both, but make it easier to switch. No, I don't understand what you're doing. I don't understand. I want the flow to be create project, open project, C rows for scripts, click on script, and go to my original working editor. Let's start there, then rewire to the DB as needed. The coder import pipeline already injects its own node resource workspace, so your copy is colliding. Just delete your entire. So then why did it give this to me? If it can tell me that it. Just get so annoyed. Is there anything else you added that doesn't belong there? I'm also like super cranky because I got to get up really early for a 5 a.m. meeting, which is always exciting. Well, the good news is going to be that I will be working on this over the weekend when I'm not streaming, so hopefully on Monday we will just have a completely working test framework harness, and I can get back to actually coding the Game Boy game. Right. While it does this, let's come back here and let's see what it has. The only bits that you can safely drop are the workspace optional Docker home volume. You don't need a separate name volume for Superbase to bind mounting. Right, okay. Anything else is fine. Sure. Anyone want to take bets that it doesn't actually compile now? Don't I need... I bet you something's referencing this. Is this right? Dude, stop. Like, stop. Like, I just want to see this. I want to see that you actually got this right before we start even worrying about the database, because this is not right. Oh, and I lost my mouse, too. It's fine. I'm going to end the stream. I got too much stuff to do today. I didn't realize that coming back, like, 2 weeks in California, like, really just, like, back back me up with all the stuff that I'm working on. Can you give me my mouse back? There we go. Open scripts. Jeez, there's like 8 different pages. Like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna scream. Just for like shits and giggles, I'm gonna restart the server and just see if there's something that's like getting stuck. In the interim, why didn't it just tell me it's to remove this? Because why does it need to tell me that? Whatever. I've already hit my like threshold for this. Alright, let's see this builds. I knew it would build. What did you do? Alright. I swear to God, original is still not the right thing. Take me to the correct V0.1.2 editor. Yeah, you know what? I'm not making much progress. I think I'm gonna. Let me see here real quick. Auto expresses every random passage metadata. Your manual is colliding with that. Just delete those 3. I don't understand. Is it really key service key? I feel like it needs this stuff or whatever. Something weird is going on. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. There's like different UI at different places, and I can't tell what's actually happening. Alright, I need to take a break from this. I didn't get enough sleep to be fighting with this today. So, I guess this whole week's sort of been a wash. I need to go to my office tomorrow. I have a bunch of work to do out there, so I won't be able to stream. But I will be back on Monday. And I promise that I will have something more interesting to stream next Monday, because hopefully by then I get the LinkedIn work off my plate. I'll have some time to tweak this script runner, and then from there I will start working on this game. Next week I have to finish this game. It's taken too long. This was supposed to be 7 days. I'm on day like 20, whatever. What are we on? Day 20 at this point. So I need to finish this up next week. But I'm very close. It's just I just took this awful detour, and I'm paying the price for it. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching, and I will be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern.